something. Thank you for being here today. Like Margaret Dayton said earlier, it is so great when we can come together and share ideas and our experiences, and that's what I'm Rachel Benson, this is my daughter Ellie, and that's what we've come to do with you today. We're really excited to share the experiences that we've had and the information that we've gathered over the years that have culminated in Ellie being able to get her associates actually before her 18th birthday. So we've just learned a lot through the process. I, as a mom, have learned a lot about my children's education, and like it says here, we're going to talk a little bit about how you actually can customize your children's education. And my objective when we're done is that if you want to do something like this, if you want to, help your child get an associate's degree or even get part of college done while they're in high school, you'll know how to do that. I have to thank someone at Provo High for putting up this display, because I saw it and I thought, that is perfect for our presentation. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And how will you get there? And it has the different Utah schools. Not like those are the only schools in the world, but it works for our purposes today. And then it's got some of the different options that you can look at to kind of structure an education for your children within the public school system. I'm kind of a believer that we are all paying for public education, whether we use it or not. Someone was asking earlier, is there going to be a way in the future that I don't have to pay for this? Well, and like Oak said, not in the foreseeable future. Whether your children go or not, you are going to pay for it. So for me, since homeschooling wasn't an option, even though I love that idea, I just tried to get the most of what I wanted out of our public schools and my children's education. So our objective is to teach you some of the things that we've learned along the way that could help you do that as well. But I want to start out with a little audience participation here. I want to ask you, you've probably had children in college, you've been to college. What would you say is the cost of having a student living outside the home and going to college? To throw out a yearly number or a monthly number, what would you say? Whether they pay, you pay, scholarships, the government, how much does that cost? $40,000 a year? Oh, 20, okay, $20,000 a year. Anyone else? What are your experiences? I'm sure some of you have kids in college. What does it cost? That's $24,000 a year, okay. Is that a 2-year school, 4-year school? 2-year. 2-year school, okay. So $48,000 for 2 years, $20,000 a year. Anyone else want to throw out a number? Okay, well the figure that we've used for our calculations, my husband's back there, we've always thought of it as being roughly $1,000 a month if you factor in tuition. Our Utah schools, from what I understand, are fairly inexpensive at about an average of about $5,000–6,000 a year in tuition. And conservative estimate of costs for a child living in an apartment, paying rent, gas, food, we say $500 to $600 a month. That's about what you budget, right? So even at that conservative estimate, which is less than some of these other numbers we've heard, that is $12,000 a year, or over 2 years, which is the time it takes to get an associate's degree, almost $25,000 that it might cost to do those 2 years away from home. So we have a little graphic here. So the average cost of associate's degree tuition in Utah, $10,000, like I just mentioned.
That's 4 semesters.
Yeah, 4 semesters of college. And then approximate cost of getting an associate's degree while in high school through distance learning, about $400. So I put, for the price of an iPad, you can do that while they're still in high school. Or you can do the whole case full of money. That looks like to me like a ransom briefcase or something. So anyway, that saves 96% on those first 2 years. So the savings are phenomenal, the time, the money, the effort. And so I've just become a huge advocate of this. But I want to start with, before I tell you all about Ellie and how we did this with her, I want to give you a little introduction. This is kind of my backstory. This is my son, Greg. He's our oldest. We labeled this former problem child, which sounds so mean, but I want you to know Greg made this slide. So, and he said he takes responsibility for having been a problem child in high school. So this is his graduation announcement, and you can see it says on the bottom, no, this is not a joke. This was the announcement we never thought we were going to need. So it was designed like 12 hours before graduation when he got cleared for graduation. So Greg is super smart, super creative, super talented, but he didn't do that well with like conventional schooling. He had a real hard time just like sitting, doing what he was told to do, and especially turning in assignments. He could get them done, but turning them in somehow escaped him. So anyway, it was just a struggle, and we tried different things to accommodate him, even a short period of homeschooling, changing schools. We tried kind of a private school set up at one point, and ultimately he wanted to go to school with his friends that he grew up with. He wanted to go to the neighborhood school. He liked school. He just wasn't, like I said, a kind of a conventional learner. So it came down to the summer before his senior year, and he was about half the credits he needed to graduate. And my husband and I felt it was super important for him to graduate high school. We're like, especially, if you haven't gone to school, you're homeschooling or whatever, that's one thing. But he had gone to school, and, I felt like every middle-class kid graduates from high school. We have to get him through this, and it was important for him personally. So I went to the counselor, and I was like, we're going to do everything in our power to make him graduate. And the counselor was so supportive. He's the best guy in the world. But he was like, okay, well, it's going to be a lot of work, and I don't know if it's possible, but we'll try. So we had a lot of makeup credits to do. And that's when I started finding out that to get high school credit, you didn't just have to go to class all year and just do the traditional thing. And even if he had done that his whole senior year, he would have only gotten 8 credits, which would have left him at least still like a half a year short of graduation. So the first thing we looked at was how can we do makeup credits for classes he didn't pass, in past years. And it was only like $500 per credit I had to pay the teachers. I'm kidding. I didn't pay. No, but we just made agreements with teachers. Like he had an art credit that he was missing that he hadn't passed, and the art teacher his senior year said, "Hey, can you help on the yearbook?" Because he's a super talented graphic designer, and he did that, and then that gave us the art credit. So we went back to everyone that we hadn't. Where we hadn't passed classes, and we were able to, in every case, a teacher, within the realm of what they were able to do, they helped us. They were so supportive, and even though if he had been a problem child in their class, when they saw him on track and trying to do, get things right, they helped so much. They were just absolutely my heroes. But at the same time, we were going through all of this with him. One of his friends from grade school was graduating with her associates, and I was like, wow, that'd be so awesome. And she graduated with her associates. She got scholarship money. She flew through college, and I was just super intrigued by that. So I started picking her brains, like, how did you do that? And I don't recommend this, but she did it with no family support at all. But she started explaining to me, and one day she came to our house she should have been the honorary high school counselor. She brought over all the forms we needed to get enrolled in concurrent enrollment, explained it to us, and kind of set us on the path. So with Ellie's older sister, she was able to get about 1.5 years of college before high school graduation, and that kind of showed us the ropes of that. And by our little formula of $1,000 a month, we still probably saved $15,000 or $18,000 doing it that way. And she was able to quickly graduate from Utah State with her associates, which was great because she married young, and then she moved back here, and all her credits transferred to UVU because a lot of them were from UVU when she was in high school. So anyway, with all that background and with experience with her older sister, we put it all together. And when we were putting together our presentation, we couldn't help but come up with this little joke. We went from problem child to poster child. This is actually Ellie on an advertisement for concurrent enrollment. And it kind of highlights how you enroll and that kind of thing. And it highlights that it's $5 per credit. So $5 versus $200 to $300 per credit is just amazing. So anyway, that was, and again, Greg helped me with the presentation, so he knew and he laughed. I just wanted to make that clear. So Ellie is going to talk about some of the different options for high school and college credit, and then we'll go on from there.
All right, so like my mom's been saying, there are just so many different ways that you can go about doing this, earning high school and college credit. So one of the first options that we've used a lot is online classes, which I feel like a lot of you are probably familiar with through homeschool. I know a lot of my homeschool friends use online classes. So through EHS and eSchool, we've been able to do a lot of classes that way that help with high school graduation. The next option is concurrent enrollment, which is you're in a high school class with high school teachers and high school students, but you're simultaneously earning college credit. 1 semester equals 1 semester of college. Then AP, probably one everyone's familiar with as well, is again, high school class, but you're earning college credit if you pass your AP exam at the end of the year. You do get about half as much credit from AP as you do from concurrent because you have to take a whole year class to get that 1 college credit from that. MATC is like technical college, you know, you go and earn your CNA or your dental hygienist certificate or whatever, and that you get college credit from as well. I never did that, but that's an option for people. And then the last one is what I primarily did, what Greg's friend told us about. So distance learning is you're in a classroom and you're watching the UVU professors on a TV. You can talk to them through a little microphone, and they keep track of your comments, that kind of thing. And you're with students from all over the state taking these college classes, which are only a semester long, and they're on college schedule, just like a normal college class would be, and there's college students in your class. So it's basically you're just in a UVU class, but you're at your high school watching the professor on a TV. So I just want to go back over those 3 main ones of earning college credit. So AP, yeah, it's full year, but you're getting that 1 semester worth of credit if you pass the test. And I never actually took any AP in my experience, but I know that can be a good option for some people. One thing I did find out about AP though, is this semester as I was applying for the nursing program at BYU, is that when the programs look at your transcripts, what they see is not an A or whatever grade you had in your AP class, they just see that you did the class. Whereas if you take concurrent enrollment or distance learning, they see the good grade that you got in that class, which is more impressive to them. So that's something to consider when you look at these. And concurrent is a really great option because distance learning does not offer everything. So I had to take, for example, math and language classes through concurrent enrollment that aren't exactly offered through distance learning. But as it continues to grow, I'm sure there will be a lot more options in that area. And then my mom's just going to talk about how we can put all these credits together to make this work for graduation. Okay, that's a really great question. And I actually left out something really important. So distance learning, you're getting double high school credit while you're getting college credit. So 1 semester of distance learning equals 2 semesters of high school. And that was really important for me because I was actually behind on credits as well, like my brother was. I didn't have a full schedule my freshman and sophomore year. And so I needed more credits, and so they build up really fast. And I was actually, yeah, that's a really good question because you're on college schedule, and so you're actually in class a lot less than everybody else. I was in about 5 classes a semester, and I would get out of school sometimes at like 10 a.m., 9 a.m. I mean, I would have all day and my friends are sitting in class while I'm done with school. Yeah. So, and I know my brother loves that too. He's doing distance learning right now. So did that answer the question?
And you were at the high school?
Yeah, so I'd be at the high school for about a few hours every day, and that's
but
it.
It was actually the college class you were taking.
Right. Yeah.
So it wasn't a lot more stressful, but it might be a harder class.
Yeah, so they're harder classes, but yeah, you spend less time in class, kind of the same way college is, where you spend more time outside studying, but more time or less time in class. Yeah.
Good, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Oh no,
It's
it's all over. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, there are about, how many schools would you say? I would say about 20 high schools that do it through UVU. And you don't actually have to go to that school. I know we had kids at Provo High with us that didn't actually go to Provo High that took these classes. So anyone can be in them, and you can go to any site you want. So that's another really great thing about this.
Okay, So this is my son, Sam. He's a junior. And this is a form that I became intimately familiar with my older kids. This is their graduation progress form. Let's see, okay, required 27 hours. That's for graduation.
From high school?
Yeah, from high school. We're gonna talk high school and then we'll talk college and how they correlate. He's so far completed 14 and a half and he needs 12 and a half to graduate. So then it comes down with all your core classes, just everything you'd expect, English, math, science, et cetera. And down here we have so many electives at Provo High. It's over a year spent just in elective credits. And so these blue show things he's already completed. So he's taken all these, and over here it comes over, and I'm always happy when I see that green completed. And so these are things he's still working on. Well, right now he's taking distance learning geology and distance learning biology. He's lacking 1 credit hour of high school credit to graduate. Those,
That's a year, right?
one is a year. So that would be a year-long biology class in high school, but it's only a semester long in distance learning. So he's actually gonna be, when he completes these 2 classes, he's gonna have 2 full years of science electives, and he only needs 1. So that's gonna come down here somewhere in his electives. He'll actually end up with more credits than he needs for high school graduation because he has been a full-time student to this point. But he needs those for college graduation, which I'm gonna get to in a minute. So he's got both those science classes. He's got a concurrent enrollment history. My older kids did distance learning history, but they aren't offering that. So he's got to do the full year, but he will get a full year of credit that counts for high school and college. So anyway, just become intimately familiar with that form if your kids are in school, because this is one of your chances to customize their education. A lot of people, oh, want that? A lot of people just, you know, they think, oh, there's a system, my kids are in it. They have a yearly meeting with a counselor, and actually it's a whole big group that's usually there meeting with the counselor. And if you never get involved and never ask questions and what are my options and what classes might my kid like, the software is just going to plug them in. Oh, he needs science, okay, biology. He needs science, chemistry, junior year or whatever. So there's just software, and actually one of our friends helped create this software, and it's just a plug-in. So there's no customization for your child unless you ask for it. And so I always try to show up to these yearly meetings. They say parents can come, but when I've been there, my experience is there's very few parents that actually do come. And sometimes I've accidentally missed it, and then my kids are like, oh, it's fine, they just signed me up, and then I see the schedule, and I'm like, oh, we should change this and change that. And this is your chance to at least explore options like science elective. There's probably not tons, but your kid could probably take anatomy or physiology or, you know, something more of interest to them than just whatever the software is going to plug them into. And so I was never afraid to ask or say I want this or I don't want my kid in with this teacher, or I always just asked and asked and asked until I found out what options were available that I liked. So it's not complete customization, but it's at least, you know, taking advantage of what's available to you. So I don't want to lose you with this form, but is that clear enough? Does anyone have a question? Okay. And then this is their degree, if they get it in high school, will just be an Associates of University Studies. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen these if you've been to college or your kids are in college. And this is just all the basic requirements again here on the left. All your basics, your core classes. And then one really nice thing about the University Studies major is that they get 25 hours of just any college class. It says 1,000 level or higher, and as you probably know, that's any college class. So that's where if they have AP credits from high school or concurrent enrollment, any of those usually fill in those there at the bottom, or some of them fill in the distribution courses like a humanities elective, a social science elective, those kind of things. And through distance learning, she didn't have tons of choices of like say your biology elective. Maybe they offered only nutrition and I don't know, what, do you remember what else? I don't know what you took for that, but because they have to take a biology class and then a biology elective. and a physical science and a physical science elective. So my son's, where I was just saying he has geology and biology, those will fill in, I think, both the, that'll fill his biology requirement and I think a physical science elective, something along those lines. But I just would go through and try and correlate these. And this is where parental involvement and awareness is just absolutely crucial. And the high school counselor cannot and will not do this for you. They specialize in getting your kid through high school. And that's their main focus. And I was kind of frustrated when I was like, what? This distance learning has been here all this time and no one ever told me. Of course, that wouldn't have worked for my oldest son. But when I found out about it, I was like, why didn't anyone ever tell me? But I don't know how it is at other schools. And from what I understand, like Alpine District has a more structured path to getting an associate's degree, which we don't at all. But we have a site coordinator who's a pro at helping align these things so they can graduate high school and college. And some of you are probably wondering, can they graduate just college and forget the high school? And I think you could probably almost do that. I think there's a few classes you would have to take in high school, but I think it's possible that you could do just the college. And I'm pretty sure most schools would welcome that because then they get their per pupil funding or whatever, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I have a board member here nodding his head, so I think I'm going to say, and again, this might sound like sassy or something, but I really just didn't let anyone tell me no, or I just kept asking, well, what else can I do? What's possible? You know, I just asked a lot of questions. So Ellie's going to cover one of the essentials.
Okay, this is just a quick little thing we need to mention with this. There is one class that is not offered through concurrent enrollment or distance learning, and that is PE. We've just kind of had a special time with PE. I don't think any of us have ever taken it at the school, actually. So you just have to do it. I know it's probably different for homeschool. I don't know how that works, but you're not going to graduate high school until you do that PE credit. So we've all done it through eSchool, so I'm sure that's a great option for EHS. Okay.
Bowling, eSchool.
Yeah, like I just took a bowling class and all I had to do was go bowling. It was great. So anyway, I would highly recommend that.
How many times did you?
15 times. And I'm so great at bowling, my dad can tell you. So the trick is, though, that through UVU you have to get a PE credit as well, and the online classes.
Fitness for life.
Yeah, fitness for life. And that is, again, not offered. And so what we found is a little trick to use Snow College. They have an online class as well, and so we just paid for one class at Snow College, which ended up being how much?
It was like $150 for you, but I found another way, and I'll explain that in a minute. So go ahead.
So, okay, we're running low on time, but anyway, so the option is to take it on campus at UVU or to do it through Snow College online, just filling out logs and stuff. And on campus, it would cost you several $100s and a lot of time, but through Snow College, it's a lot easier and cheaper. So that's our little tip.
Yeah, with my son Sam now being in this, he does the Snow College class as well, the Fitness for Life, but somehow I got routed through their concurrent enrollment instead of like their online, whatever, I don't know what you call it. But so his was only the $5 a credit hour, and it's $5. So it's one credit
versus
so,
$150.
Yeah, so if you do it, try to go through that route. I wasn't even sure how I got lucky with that, but that's what happened. So.
All right. Okay, I'm going to add just one more thing with the associate's degree. This is like the icing on the cake for me with getting the associates. The state of Utah currently offers a scholarship to anyone who does this and keeps their GPA above a 3.5. So it's basically a guaranteed scholarship. There's no essays or anything. You just have to apply, meet the requirements, and you basically earn that $5,000 to use while you earn your bachelor's degree
So you get
anywhere in Utah.
4 more semesters. I figure it gets you through the end of college because you've done 2 years. Laura Lynn.
Which is awesome to me. Yeah.
You just have to graduate college at the same time or right before you graduate high school. So I'm assuming yes. But like she said, it's icing on the cake. I mean, it's another $5,000, but you've already saved.
Yeah, plus you've already saved so much, and now they're giving you $5,000 more. It's awesome. And it's also deferrable for missions or whatever else you may be doing. So there's that. Transferring credits distance learning and concurrent enrollment occasionally have issues transferring, mainly to BYU. But if you do complete the whole associates, it just transfers automatically. You're basically like a transfer student. And so you don't really have to worry about it. And AP should transfer just fine as well. So a lot of people have complications with that, but it's not that difficult if you just get the whole associates. And even if you do, I mean, if you don't, then you can still make it work.
Transferring the associate's degree is really nice because like our some of her cousins from Washington State came with their associate's degrees to BYU, and it just covers just all your GE basically. At BYU, you still have to take religion. So get the help you need. Just some mom tips. Parents, stay involved. Counselors can help you. Like I said, I didn't mention UVU has, I don't know what school your kids might end up doing this through, but in this state, mostly UVU, I think. UVU has amazing counselors that help with concurrent enrollment, and they know all the ins and outs to help you get through this. I've always told my kids when they're struggling in any class at any age, talk to your teacher, talk to your professor. That seems, for my kids, something intimidating to do, just to email, but every time they do, the teachers are so responsive and helpful. And yeah, would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Ellie's going to talk about a few of her tips.
Okay. I would just say that I know a lot of people think, wow, you did that. That sounds so hard and everything. But I would honestly just say that all it requires is a lot of self-discipline, which I've been raised with, I guess. But basically, it is like a college class. And so you are expected to, they're not taking attendance, but you're expected to be there. You're expected to be responsible and stay on top of your assignments and everything like that. And so it is really good preparation for college and the rest of your life, just being held responsible, being treated like an adult. And I really appreciated that. I think it helped me in a lot of ways, and I would just absolutely recommend it. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay. Yeah, so it was just been a great benefit to us, and we just kind of wanted the opportunity to spread the word, and this was just like the most fun day ever when she graduated college, you know, at the age of 17. It was amazing, and there's her high honors ribbons, and it was just a fabulous day. So, you know, just take advantage of the opportunities that are there. Even if I had a kid that was in the second half of their senior year, I would say do it to get a semester of college credit and, you know, at least save the money that way. Now also, I don't want you to think I thought Ellie's graduation was better. Greg's was amazing. I cried tears of joy, I swear. And, you know, that's great too. And, you know, he is doing absolutely great now. He's in UVU, he's studying graphic design, he has, you know, work, he's super responsible. So some kids are just a little late bloomers.